so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here. With all of these changes that are happening right now, more than ever, being aligned to amazing, extraordinary people have made the biggest impact in my life. And especially Rosie Rodriguez, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for your constant support, your unwavering stand. And this is what it's all about, and this is where I get to pretty much be okay and have fun in what I do on a daily basis because of alignments and partnerships like we have. So the huge announcement, I'm pretty sure everybody's wondering what it is, right? And what we're going to talk about. Do you want to say something before we get into that, Ms. Rosie?
I just want to say that I'm super excited, just to give everybody a little bit of a background. Leo and I, we talk on a daily basis and we just talk about ways to grow our business and whatnot. And then I see he posts this announcement about the telemedicine plan. And many of you guys know that, just in my posts or whatnot, I'm really passionate about all things health and wellness. I did an interview with my homeopathic doctor about a week and a half ago, just because
amazing. Thank you.
And I just had a whole lot of questions about what we should do, with everything that's going on, boosting our immune system. So, just 2 days ago, Leo, we were talking. Well, I was actually thinking and talking about like what happens if I have to go to the doctor, right? Like the legit doctor, because my homeopathic is good for a few things, but there's some things that you want to go to your regular doctor for.
Of course.
And then this comes out. I mean, literally, like I think I saw that this morning, and then we hop on a call, and I'm like, "What do you know about it?" Right? And then you go crazy, I go crazy, and here we are.
Like let's sign up right away, right? And which we both did. So it's. Yeah, it truly is amazing. I mean, it's like if the conversations that we're having, it's like as if eXp is already like they're 10 steps ahead of this already.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to roll out this initiative, from like yesterday to the day, there's a press release already and they're already fully set in motion. And this is game changer, right? I mean, everybody should be thinking about, this is a very serious thing. And, the social distancing type thing, we got to pay attention to it. And yes, if we have like a little ear infection or something just normal and we go to the doctor, we are at risk of exposing ourselves and also contaminating other people. So I think that this is like extraordinary. I mean, we get to see the doctor from home, literally, right?
Yeah.
And
well,
for
you know what?
$9 a month.
I was gonna say, let's explain what we're talking about. We're talking about a healthcare plan. It's a legitimate healthcare plan for $9 a month, right?
Right.
For an individual. And by the way, I signed up my entire family of 5 for $11.32 a month. Okay. And for that, normally we go into the doctor, we wait about an hour.
Ms. Rosie, you're getting stuck.
I am.
There you go.
5 or 10 minutes.
Back.
And, and then we're gone, right? And I know that when I go to the doctor, I'm always like trying to stay away from people. I don't want to touch things because I know sick people go to the doctor. But this is a way for you to see a doctor 24/7 and go over whatever, your condition, your symptoms are, and actually get a prescription for whatever it is you're dealing with. Now, it's not going to be something where if you break a leg, don't call the doctor because they're not going to be able to help you. But
makes sense.
Just 2 days ago, like my left eye started itching and I was thinking, I'm not going to go to the doctor. What am I going to do? Right? Like, how am I going to figure this out? And then, we have this conversation where I could just call a doctor and literally like on my phone, I could talk to the doctor and say, this is what's going on. They can send a prescription to CVS. I could pick it up and I'm done. So,
yes.
I mean, for $11.32, I spend more on like my morning, tea because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah. Exactly. No, and that's. I mean, in order just to see the doctor. I mean, I know copay is going to be what, $100. I don't go to the doctor typically, so I'm not too in tune with all this stuff. But it's like $100, just to show up, and that's even without them even seeing you just yet, right? That's what I've heard. So it could vary. But in this case, you can hop on 24/7 anytime and talk to somebody. And the other thing we're talking about, we're just talking about like the health, like let's just say, the normal things. But what if somebody's going through something psychologically right now that needs to talk to
Um,
someone, in a therapeutic way or psychological way? This is also part of that. They could set up a call with a professional that could keep their mental health intact or in place, which is, I mean, we have changing times, right? There's going to be a lot of people right now that are on edge with a lot of these things.
yeah.
So,
I actually, I was, I got really excited. And of course, I started just reading everything I could. I mean, we're going to have probably a part two because we both have our consultation tomorrow morning.
right.
But what I learned so far, that there's a lot of industries that have already adopted using this, right? There's so many medical specialties like a dermatologist, if you've got some kind of a weird rash, psychiatrists. I mean, there's so many family practice, family medicine. I mean, what happens? I know, like I have 3 kids and, 11 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, the baby's crying, screaming, you're trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, just getting a hold of a doctor is a whole nightmare. You might get a nurse maybe after an hour or whatnot. So, like, the fact that some things that stood out for me were, one, it's 24/7. You can
Yep.
speak to a doctor 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one. So, for like a mother, that's a really big, benefit,
Yeah.
right?
It's huge.
Second thing that stood out to me, elderly people, right? They don't always have the ability to have somebody pick them up and go to the doctor because they have a sore throat.
Right.
So for an elderly person to go ahead and call the doctor and says, "Hey, I'm not feeling well. I feel like I have, again, a sore throat, or there's, some on my arm or whatever it is." Like, that's a huge benefit. So the elderly, the 24/7 access, and then you've got, I'm just going to speak to women right now, right? And
Go
thankfully,
for it.
I drink a ton of water and, all that stuff. But, UTIs, urinary tract infections, they're very common
Water.
in, especially like our young generation, because they don't drink enough water. They go out, they do gym, whatever it is. But those kinds of things are just like a phone call away to get whatever you're going to prescribe. Like, personally, I would say drink a lot of cranberry juice and alkaline water and you'll be fine. But,
Right.
some of the young people, they don't listen. But all of these kinds of things that come up, sore throat, UTIs, stomach aches, all these things, it's just a phone call away. And again, I mean, I can't even believe it. I'm still, in awe about the
Shock. Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
$11.32 for my whole family.
And the beauty of this whole thing too is that, like, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of companies out there that do have these sort of benefits for individuals, but we as realtors, we don't have anything like this.
Yeah.
Real estate agents, we don't have any sort of things that are put in place for this. So it's just, I'm just like, man, excited because we as real estate agents, for $11, like, we get to talk to someone anytime that we want and have care. That's extraordinary for me. And I think that a lot of people out there that are home that are thinking about the same things, this is something that is available to all our agents. So if you guys want to get involved one way or another, if you have additional questions, we're going to keep you guys up to date, because there's still a lot of information that we're not covering that that could even we're going to potentially do like another 2 to 3 series. But I think that, yeah, this is a huge deal. This is a huge deal.
It is. And I think it's important that, I mean, I'm really, like, I just keep getting more and more, I'm falling more and more in love with our company, right? Because, we're in the middle of this health crisis, worldwide health crisis. And this didn't just coincidentally pop into our company, overnight, just because it happened to be. I know that it's awesome to know that when something is happening, boom, they're in it. They're trying to figure out solutions. They're trying to bring us value. They're talking about the healthcare, the
Mhm.
need for healthcare. And so just bringing that to our community is so awesome. I mean,
It's
I
amazing.
1,000% appreciate it. Just, I am not going to step foot in a doctor's office for a long time. I might go to
Right.
my homeopathic, but I will not go to a hospital or doctor's office if I don't have to, absolutely have to. So I love that I can just pick up the phone on my phone, on my app, see the doctor, a specialist, and do
Over
what I need to
fifty
do.
thousand. Over
Oh,
fifty
right,
thousand. Yeah,
right.
that's huge.
Yeah,
Huge,
yeah.
huge.
So I'm just like I'm in love with everything that this company's doing for us, and I know there's more to come. I've heard there's more to come. But going virtual is such a wave of the future. I heard about
Hmm.
telemedicine about a year and a half ago with a friend of mine that they do like glutathione and B12 and stuff like that. But he said to me, this is what the future of medicine, and think about it, Leo, like I'm just kind of going down this path where if you're thinking about the future, on your phone, you can take like a pulse, a temperature, do an x-ray. There's so many things you can do from your phone where you don't have to go into a doctor's
Exactly.
office. So this is just like the tip of the iceberg. How this is going to look in a year or two is, 5 years, right?
Yeah, we can't even imagine it. Yeah,
Yeah,
how fast everything is moving. And
right.
I would say one additional thing that I have it on the little prompter here is that we just rolled out the Excel program. The Excel program, I mean, that is something that's designed for this shifting market, for this constantly changing market. And that's another thing, right? We just stepped into this change, and our company immediately puts together an entire system. We have an additional, we already had 50 classes. Now we have an additional 12 classes that are just specifically designed to having conversations with our buyers and our sellers about the shift that's happening and how to actually tackle it on correctly and be able to stay in business and be able to also thrive and bring more value to our consumers and our customers. That's
You
huge.
know, it is. And I want to say, I mean, that, behind every company and brand, there's people, right? And so I just want to remind everyone, like, Leo, you've been in the business. You were 18. When you started, you saw this dip. You went through your challenges, right? Even though,
Yep.
I mean, you've sold over 1,400 homes.
Oh
I've been
yeah.
doing this for 20 years. And so we're sharing because we want to give to other people the benefit of what we have the opportunity to have. But I want to say that if there's anybody out there right now, an agent out there, and you're just not really sure in which direction you're going to navigate, I'll speak for myself, and I also speak to Leo because I know the person he is. Like, we just want to help our community, and it doesn't matter what company you're with, if you own offices, if you're an independent, if you're new, whatever it is. But we're right in it with you, and we're watching the news, we're looking at the updates, we're doing the research, but we're just full speed. Like, let's fast forward and let's get ahead of all of the changes. And so if anybody wants to talk to us, right, of course, just reach
100%.
out. we're,
I'm
we're
with
just
that.
there to help you because we're not Leo, you've been through it,
Yep.
right? You
100%. I've been
ended
through
up
the
losing
darkest.
your
I got
home.
evicted. I got evicted 6 times. Lost home. Cars repossessed. Felt like I wasn't gonna ever make it back out of that. Lost complete faith in myself. I mean, lost. And I
Yeah.
was by myself during that time, and I know what that's like. So that's why it's like we have the movement, no agent left behind. Like that's not happening in our watch. It's not.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'll share one little quick story, but like there was one point, and because I was actually pregnant in 2008, I had my son. But there was
Hmm.
one point I was about 7, 8 months pregnant. I'm this big, right, in the office, and we had to write one of the biggest checks that we had to write. I had 4 offices, 4 brick and mortar offices, right. So I think that month I had to make a cash call of about $60,000. And yeah, that was like, yeah. So anyhow, what I want to say about, and then here I am again, 8 months pregnant. And at that time, I was the operating principal of Keller Williams. I owned the office, and my MCA, she says to me, Rosie, like, I don't understand how, you and Lupe could just sit there and laugh. And I said, you know what? We have our health, we have our sense of humor, and that's what's most important, that we have our family, we have our health. These things are going to come and go. And so I just want to give you that as from a point of perspective. 8 months pregnant, bleeding. I've got 4 offices, and here I am, right? So whatever it is that you're going through, like it's going to be okay. And
This too shall
I
pass.
mean, yeah. And we're
Yeah.
shifting quicker now because EXP allows us to do that. But just reach out and we're happy to like chit chat.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking your time, Rosie. I know that you got your hands full with a lot of different things, so I really appreciate you coming on here as leader. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people out there are going to get immense amount of value. And again, if we have daily calls at noon that are designed to talk to you about the different opportunities that we have, and again, reach out, Zoom, DM, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case is, we're here to help. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Leo's everywhere. You cannot miss him. So
Yes. Even on LinkedIn now. So,
yeah.
all righty. See you
All
later,
right.
Rosie.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Leo.